candidate for the 14th District of Illinois, Mr. Michael Koolidge.
Oh, man. Elliot Johnson. Before I begin, I want to thank the people who traveled the longest to get here. Jen and Brad Clayton. There they are. Two of my absolute best friends from high school. I've known Jen since we were barely out of middle school. They flew in from the East Coast, and they picked up my wonderful nieces, who you just heard from, Mary Frances Kitchens and Sarah Kate Houston. They're first cousins. Met them a minute ago. They were flower girls in our wedding, which was 16 years ago, with their aunt, my beautiful wife, Joan. Elliot, of course, traveled here from Washington, D.C. just for this. I can't thank him enough for doing that. And finally, my parents, Bob and Carol Koolidge, who drove, yes, round of applause for them, please. They drove 15 hours straight, my dad loves to drive, to get here. They're both, I hope you don't mind me telling you their ages, but they're both 71 years old. It was just my mom's birthday on Saturday. She turned 71. And just 2 months ago, celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary right here in Illinois. You know, as a radio host for over 14 years, I've listened to a lot of these political speeches and been to a lot of campaigns like this. And on the show itself, I've interviewed tons of senators, governors, one president, and a whole lot of congressmen and congressional candidates. Heard a lot of platitudes, heard a lot of promises and pontifications, some of them good, some of them real, some of them a little vapid though. I always said when I threw my hat into the ring myself, I would try to just cut right through and talk about what really matters. So let me just say that right up front here, why I am running. The current leaders in Washington, D.C. are not listening to us. They're ignoring us again. And there's a very simple solution to this. We need to win back the U.S. House of Representatives and fire Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. Now, let me tell you some hard truths. Joe Biden, President Biden, and the Democrat-led Congress are spending our country into oblivion by the trillions and trillions of dollars. We've seen gas up by 49%, beef up by 20%, electricity up by 6%, and that's going to go a lot higher this winter, I promise you that. The Democrats in Congress have opened our borders and allowed well over 1.4 million illegal immigrants to pour through our borders, no respect or concept of the law and immigration laws. Major employers and federal workers are being forced to require their employees to take the vaccine, and I've had the vaccine. I'm not anti-vaccine at all, but I am absolutely forced vaccines. We should not be forcing people to do something against their personal or medical situations. This idea of personal autonomy and responsibility seems to be out the window with the Democrats in control of so many things. And of course, hot button issue right now, I know. A lot of people don't like talking about it, but it's that critical race theory and its toxic, divisive cousins. It's an ideology that continues to be pushed by the left, and while at the same time they gaslight us and tell us it's something that doesn't exist. What are they talking about? It's not in our schools. You're lying. The bottom line is the Biden administration and the Democrats are running our country, if we let them, into the ground. And my opponent, the current member of Congress in this district, rubber stamping all of it. Gas prices too high? What are you going to do? We can't control gas prices. You heard that on TV? Inflation, prices are up, prices are high. We can't do anything about that. The president can't really do anything about that. We've heard that a lot. Tens of thousands of illegal migrants streaming endlessly over the border, making a mockery of our laws. You don't even see it covered on a lot of the major media networks. There's no problem. There's no problem to fix. So I have a question for you. Are we going to sit back and accept this as how things are supposed to be? No. My friends, there is hope. We've seen it recently in the news. We saw in Virginia just 2 weeks ago, a deep blue state in 2020 just elected a Republican governor in 2021, just a year later. They won that race, that Republican candidate who won that governor's race there by leading on issues such as education, putting parents in charge of their children's future. And that was a new thing. Republicans usually took a backseat in the past, many years past, to Democrats on education. That's not the case anymore. A page has been turned. Republicans are absolutely going to take back Congress in 2022, and Illinois 14 right here is one of the seats we must win back. And when we take back the House and you send me to Congress, there are a few things I want you to know, and I want to be specific in this opening launch of this campaign that I will be fighting for. Stopping the runaway spending and ending earmarks and pork once and for all. We thought that was over with. Nope, we're going to end it. Closing our southern border from illegal immigration. Standing with our police and first responders instead of trying to defund them. Keeping our taxes low and quit trying to raise taxes on the middle class to pay for giant new government programs, and protecting our constitutional rights, including the right to life and the Second Amendment. All right. That was a little doom and gloomy, I know. There's a lot of problems going on in this country. I don't want, and we don't need, candidates running for office who are going to ignore them, because that's what the Democrats are doing. I want to talk about something a little bit more positive, something very positive that is 100% going to happen. If I'm successful in this effort to win this congressional seat, thanks to everyone in this room and everyone else in the 14th District, I will be sworn in 1 year from this coming January, which will be 2023. Now, just 3 years after that, does anyone know what will happen in 2026? Does anyone know the significance of the year 2026? What is it? Exactly.
What is it?
The 250th anniversary, the birthday of the United States of America, the quarter millennial. Anyone alive here anyone remember? I was 1 year old in 1976. Anyone alive and remember the bicentennial of 76? Yeah? I've been told it was great. It was fun. It was positive. It was awesome. We need to get to work on that. We need to get to work on starting that party and that beacon of positivity and unity and patriotism and love for this country, the United States of America. We have to make it the biggest, happiest, most positive, unifying, year-long event this country has ever seen. Unity. Unity is so crucial to everything we do, isn't it? It's what we all want. We want to be unified with each other. It's literally in the name of our country, the United States of America. I'm on the side of unity. Who else in this room is also on the side of unity? I'll tell you who's not on the side of unity. At least they don't seem to be. People peddling this yes, toxic junk science in so many ways of this critical race theory and their divisive cousins in our schools. What is unifying about telling kids, some of you are oppressors and some of you are victims? Regardless of your behavior, regardless of what you've done or what you think, your skin color is what makes you an oppressor and a victim. That is bunk. That concept and that narrative that keeps being pushed, that this is a racist culture and racism and white supremacy is embedded into the DNA of our country. We're here to say one thing loud and clear. Anyone peddling that, you're wrong. We love each other despite our differences. We don't care about your skin color or your background. We treat each other with respect and dignity because we're all children of God, and we reject these divisive notions that the left continually tries to foster on everyone else. That, to me, is the opposite of unity. They're preaching division, we're preaching unity. We are, and it just happened in Virginia and New Jersey and some other places throughout the country a couple weeks ago. We're turning the page on racializing everything in the United States. The whole country is turning that page. We're in this moment right now. It's great. It's a wonderful thing to see. One might even say it's a new form of wokeness. We're becoming awake to a future where we don't focus on. Did I lose the thing here? Okay. Yes, that's right. I'm an old radio host there. We are focusing on. This happened once on the radio. It's happened a bunch of times. If people listen on the radio when the mic goes out. Chris, are you working on getting that replaced? Yeah? Okay. We're turning the page on that racialization of everything in this country. I say we love each other, all of us, yes, because of the content of our character, not the color of our skin. Now, longtime listeners to my radio show know I have a fondness for the Gettysburg Address. To me, it's the most succinct and brilliant speech ever written by anyone about why America is so special. My favorite lines are towards the end, when Lincoln, who's talking about a battlefield where tens of thousands of soldiers just fought each other and so many of them died and were mortally wounded. He said, "It is for us, the living, to be dedicated here to this unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth." Yeah, that's Lincoln. That's all Lincoln. It's such a crucial point. It's such a crucial point what he was getting at there, and it's why it's one of the most important speeches ever written. He's saying we can't let them die in vain. We have to keep trying to get to a more perfect union. He also said a really brilliant thing in his second inaugural address, which I believe with every fiber of my being. He said, "With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in." This work continues. It never ends. We need to become unified as a country. And finally, another president who also hails from this great state, Ronald Reagan, one of my favorite quotes. He said, many of you may know this quote, it's so applicable right now, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day, we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where people were free." That time that Reagan was talking about is right now. We need to continue to fight for unity and for freedom. We have less than 1 year to win this election. With your help, we can and will do it. I am Michael Coolidge. I am running for Congress in the 14th Congressional District in Illinois, and I humbly ask for your vote in 2022. I also ask you to keep kindness, love, and unity in your hearts. God bless this great country, the United States of America. Thank you all for coming. Full speed ahead. Thank you.